Gemini, okay, let's get going. We are doing your weekly reading for week beginning April 27th into May the 3rd. If this is your first time here, thanks for watching. This is a channel for those that identify as empaths, intuitives, and sensitives. My name is Ali. I am an intuitive energy healer and reader. So there are weekly and monthly videos on the channel for you to connect in with your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. In the description box below, there are links for you to generate your own natal chart if you so choose. The intention with all my readings are for the collective of Geminis or zodiacs that I connect into, so I'll pick up on a frequency, a storyline if you like, and the most prominent ones are the ones that do come through. So whether that is something that you are currently going through, whether that's a connection that you are focused on, a situation you are focused on and thinking about and curious about, all time is fluid, so this may apply to this week, it may apply to something that has happened last week because you're still healing from it, trying to understand it. It might be more of a heads up message as in what to expect for next week. Okay, so take it how it resonates, Gemini. I was going to say Leo. Maybe you are connecting into a Leo. I've been doing, that's the first time. This is the first week where I've mixed the zodiacs. And I'm wondering if that's more of a messaging system. So maybe you are thinking of a Leo. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Maybe you are not. Maybe you have Leo in your chart and you need to go and watch that video too. They've been very specific, so I do notice there's a collective theme happening. Oh, also Gemini, over the next 2 weeks we are going to be floating into retrograde season for planets Venus, Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter. Now what does that mean? Well, basically we go to the depths, we look back, essentially speaking, on what we've learned, the past experiences that we've perhaps, the emotions that we have suppressed, the deeper wisdoms these lessons and learnings have taught us, you know, so that we can navigate things like love, intimacy, trust, power versus empowerment, understanding our deeper motivations when it comes to subconscious, what we think about structures, rules, orders, our boundaries, you know, when it comes to the planet Saturn, how we expand, how we manifest, how we've manifested from those shadow and light elements, okay? It's all relevant. You might also be connecting into an Aries because they got the same weekly theme. Your weekly theme, my dear Gemini, is sound. Practically speaking, you might be connecting into the healing catharsis of music. You might be playing a lot of music. You might also be healing throat chakra imbalances, okay? Speaking your truth, wanting to speak your truth. Just the therapy that comes from singing, yelling, raising our voices. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Sometimes we need to belt out a tune to release that stuck energy. If there's a conversation that you are not quite ready to have, Gemini, I highly suggest going for a drive with the windows down on a highway. If you can, obviously I'm sure there's a lot of restrictions everywhere globally, not just where I am, but belting out a song. It helps shift stagnant energy. And you know, when we're wanting a conversation, when we're wanting to speak or say our piece, and we tend to hold ourselves back, you may notice that you'll get a bit of a tickle in your throat, or you'll have a slight cough, or if something upsets you or angers you and you just want to say something. With me, when I start to channel messages, I'll get all the sort of the higher chakra stuff, so anything from a tickle in my throat, and you'll hear me clear my throat a lot. Which either signifies what's coming through, there's a lot of content coming through, or I'm trying to sort of piece that together. You know, I'll get a lot of third eye and sinus activity as well. So the throat chakra is very much the same. When there is an imbalance or information trying to come out, come through, we will notice it, we'll feel it, okay? So take that however it resonates. We'll see what the tarot wants to clarify for you though, Gem, okay? Sound, singing. Feels very melancholy. So maybe you are listening to old love songs. Maybe you're listening to, I just got goosebumps. Maybe you're listening to a favorite song from a time gone by. I do see you are closing a chapter and you are starting a whole new one, but you are on the defensive, okay, on some level, or at least needing to put some boundaries down as you try and embark on this new chapter. The World crossed by the Seven of Wands. Above that is the Eight of Pentacles. Behind that is the Seven of Cups. The Knight of Cups is underneath. What's likely to happen next is the Eight of Cups. You've got 2 8s, 2 7s, double 7, double 8. Spiritually infinite, aren't you, my dear Gemini? And we've got the King of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords. Look at this graduation energy, 7, 8, 4, 5. And we're closing with the Devil, okay? And underneath all this is the Strength card. Now, I also like to sort of tell a story a bit with the tarot and see what else is underneath. And the reason I use underneath is like the subconscious story, okay? Hidden motivations. And that's not necessarily the hidden motivations of others, but I am curious about that Devil card because materialism is at play here, and I feel like you are going to now focus on money, all right? But let's talk a bit further. You're definitely closing a chapter, and you definitely feel like you're having to defend yourself from the world. You know, I can apply this in many ways. You might be collectively absorbing too much of the collective energy, wanting to defend yourself. You might be trying to leave an old world, begin a new world, apply that in whatever metaphorical context. You know, you might be starting a new relationship, wanting to make a commitment and defending your beliefs, your viewpoints, your hopes and wishes against others who may not agree. You may be feeling on the defense about starting a new chapter after a proposal has been put down, a suggestion, someone has offered their cup or hasn't offered their cup, okay? Take that how it resonates. In the past, I do see you've come from a time of overwhelming emotions when the Seven of Cups presents. It's also choice. We have choices of who to go for, how to react, what to process here. Like, I've got options here, and I could also apply this just to one particular person. Now, I want to say that this is in relation to a connection, okay? I might even look at one person that comes with all these special offerings, okay? Character traits that just tick our boxes is the other energy that I get from the Seven of Cups. Because traditionally, the Seven of Cups might be like feeling overwhelmed and overburdened by emotions. And that might apply more so to you, because what's likely to happen next is a need to walk away from some heavy emotions, okay? I think there's a collective story here where someone's cup wasn't accepted, someone's desires wasn't accepted, someone thought they had the world in an individual, in a connection. Someone has, looking back, and they've chosen the wrong option, perhaps, Gemini. And it doesn't just have to be about connection, it can be career path too, okay? Because I do see here what crowns you and what influences you is the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, and that could very well point to career. Feeling overwhelmed with choice. Which way do I go with this career path? It is important to you. It's an important connection, an important situation, okay? So certainly careers and career paths are important to us. Money is important to us because we've got to survive, but so too are our stronger connections. I do feel I'm talking to a collective Gemini that is walking away from some heavier emotions after feeling overwhelmed with choice when it comes to where to from here, okay? Feeling defensive about the sudden realization that there's a whole new world trying to make itself known to you. Not all of us are ready to let go of the old, connection or otherwise, routine, jobs, career paths even, okay? You are wanting to work on something and build something here, you know, and if that is a connection, you know, I do feel that someone wanted to, you know, apply that to you, apply that to the other party. Someone wanted to work on something here and grow something with the Eight of Pentacles crowning. You know, they were willing to invest, and they had the ability and resources to navigate that. They had the skills, and if that applies to a job, you know, this is money in the bank. It was almost a tick and flick to the end, to the Ten of Coins, yeah? I do feel I'm talking to collective Geminis that have walked away, okay? Maybe you're looking back on the journey to date, and because the Seven of Cups is also the hungover card, And I'm even, you know, inclined to then call it the rose-colored glasses. If it wasn't quite, you know, this is the Nine of Cups. It's emotional offering, yes, but it's not the King of Cups. And I'm wondering if emotions here are important because there's some sort of emotional mastery that was needed. I had to walk away from heavier emotions if we're not equally met emotionally, is what I'm hearing. At any rate, if this applies to career, there's emotions attached to an ending, and you're moving into a time where you are just letting go of that disappointment that something hasn't quite worked out. Finances, okay, so when it does come to that, all right, the King of Pentacles shows up, and it's a confirmation that funds are there, advice is nearby. Long-term security will and is your focus, okay? And in order to practically focus this from a head level rather than a heart level, we must release the heavier emotions, okay? So the practical guidance then when these two cards show up next to each other, Gem, is let the emotions go so that we can focus on this long-term stability. And if this applies to an ending of a relationship, focus on the long-term stability and commitment you were looking for. You were looking to offer your heart. Someone was looking to offer their heart. Someone was wanting to work on something here, because what was of influence was a long-term plan, okay? Whether that applies to a connection, whether that applies to a career path or a job, all right? But you're in retreat mode in some way, whether that was brought upon you because something has ended or whether you have chosen to retreat. You know, I think in many ways you are analyzing this overwhelming rose-colored glasses energy and the deeper emotions that are navigating. I do see towards the end of the week, you sort of close the reading. I'm just trying to read the energy. The Devil card is interesting. It's so interesting. I might even clarify that with the other deck. Your hopes and fears is the Five of Swords. Have I done the right thing? Is conflict worth it? Is something worth fighting for? Is it worth standing up for myself? Is it worth taking what's rightfully mine? Because it's almost genteel understanding here, and then it booms, and then it's just like this, right? Maybe the other side of you, because you do have dual energies, Gem. Maybe by the end of the week you sort of fire up, and then you're ready to take, like, address these very physical ego needs, okay? And you can apply that in any way, shape or form. Maybe you get so much out of your emotions that you put your heart aside a little bit, and sometimes we do. Sometimes we have to be very practical and just take what's ours and sort the finances out, look at the long-term goals here. Someone is wanting a victory when it comes to this commitment. Someone's wanting a victory when it comes to commitment. You know, you knew the Devil card shows up and it talks about deep and long-lasting bonds. But when it's right next to the Five of Swords here, if it was right next to the Ace of Cups, if it was right next to the King of Pentacles, I would definitely say it speaks and booms of commitment that is guaranteed and this deeper bond that just is known between two people. But it's right next to the Five of Swords. Now, is the deeper tie here conflicting for you? The fact that someone could even tie you, because, you know, when Geminis leave, they just leave. And they'll stay. And they'll love with their whole heart. But when they're ready to leave, they'll just leave. But you just can't quite leave something. You can't quite let something go. You can't quite let a disappointment go, perhaps. Let me clarify. Because it's taking a lot of strength. Maybe there's a connection. Sorry, Gemini, my camera ran out of room. So, as I was saying, you just can't quite let something go. Now, I just found it really, I got an interesting energy when I was looking at these two cards together, you know. Everything that I'd said earlier is correct. But when the Five of Swords is next to the Devil, I'm feeling conflicted about a commitment. Whether it's mine, whether it's something else I'm observing, I'm feeling conflicted about some deeper desires here. Now, when the Devil shows up, it's shadow stuff. Yeah, it's egoic. I have to walk away. Someone has walked away, and risen this conflict within me, because I didn't get the commitment, or because I just have this attraction that I can't let go. What is the deeper drive here? I really want to clarify that with some other tarot, just to understand the dynamic. I find it interesting because it's interesting simply because of your week. As like I said, the read is very genteel even, it's accepting, it's practical, and then boom, it's like this rise, something triggers. Like, that's relevant. Something triggers within you at the rest for the end of the week about this commitment, about this thing, this new chapter that started for yourself or another, about a new chapter that must start, about heavier emotions that must be let go of. But you have had a time of retreat. You've been in the Four of Swords energy. You've withdrawn from this King of Pentacles. Now, you might be connected into a Virgo, Capricorn, or a Taurus. You've had to withdraw from this concept of commitment, finances, longevity, long-term, okay? And a long-term partnership, a long-term connection, a long-term vision, dream, goal. You've had to withdraw. But there's this rise, there's this conflicting rise here with the Devil and the Five of Swords. You're feeling conflicted about a commitment, a contract, a business contract, something to do with the High Priestess. When the High Priestess shows up, she is either Cancer or Pisces. Guys, come here, please. This higher knowing, you're feeling conflicted between this higher knowing and lower base desires, okay? When the Devil card shows up, you're feeling conflicted between heaven and earth. Look at the contrast. Wow. Wow. What would they, wow. All right, you might be dealing with a Capricorn when the Devil card shows up. There is an ending here, okay? This is the end of a karmic cycle, an end of a karmic connection. You are feeling conflicted, Gemini. I keep hearing wanting to cause conflict is the other thing. That might not be relevant, okay? You are feeling conflicted about these two elements. Now, apply it how it resonates, okay? This is two elements of yourself, following your soul path, following the very 3D reality. Hey, guys, come here, please. Come on, come here. Follow it. Goodness, I might have to pause this video. I don't want them barking. Come on, that's enough. Sorry. You're feeling conflicted between the Devil and the High Priestess. There's conflict about a connection. Perhaps a connection has formed and you've had to walk away. Perhaps an ending has happened. I'm picking up on a particular storyline. There's definitely a couple of storylines here, okay? In relation to relationships, Gemini, this is, all right, when the Devil card shows up, just bear with me while I try and bring into human language what I'm trying to conceptualize here. This is a really powerful connection, okay? It is if I just think of it as two different energies, this, God, and you know what? We are having, Venus is going retrograde in Gemini. This is the coming together of dark and light, but she's not dark, okay? She is both. She has been through stuff before. She knows what the light looks like. She knows the value of both. If I just look at this card, all right, spiritual alchemy, true alchemy, lead to gold, ego to soul, is knowing the value of both. You know, the dark arts are just as real as the light arts. The High Priestess, she who knows, the wise woman, the priestess, the oracle, the, you know, the healer, the intuitor, you know, she knows the value of both and knows how to work with both. She walks the line. Okay, she knows about transcendence. She knows about ascension, ascending old paradigms. She is not afraid of the devil energy. She knows the truth of the lower realms and the dimensions that form the basis of that. She knows that the spiritual aspects within the dark arts exist. This is the dark arts. The dark arts and the light arts equally have spiritual principle. And perhaps it's the dark nature of the human psyche, our drives, our desires. Nothing shocks her. Is this why you're feeling conflicted? Because perhaps something that has transpired, you know, is perhaps someone is going to have to go down a 3D path, another person is going a little bit higher perhaps. And there's an ending here, a walking away from something, okay? So if this is in relation to a connection, I feel like you are either watching someone walk away into this union with an equally yoked individual, and you're wanting to cause conflict, or if you knew that you had to make a choice between light or dark, perhaps, and you still walked away. This feels like the ... at the end of a sentence, like you're still waiting and watching a scenario, you're still waiting and watching something pan out. She is not afraid of the devil. She is not afraid of very human baseline, you know. This is carnal and spiritual. You know, if I was to connect all of the chakras during sex, then this is carnal, this is spiritual alchemy. Like they just get each other. Maybe that is two parts of you. Maybe that is you and another. Maybe if this does not apply to a relationship, I know I strongly am feeling pulled that there is a relationship querient out there. And this connection, this new connection is something significant. So if you are feeling conflicted because you feel stabbed in the back because something has ended, because a cup was offered, your cup wasn't received, a cup wasn't received, someone has walked away towards this, okay? This might be you, this might be another. Take it however it resonates. I also want to say, from a business perspective, from a career perspective, there is a Gemini out there that is successfully blending 3D and 5D in some way, because you were feeling conflicted about how to share those two parts of you, the spiritual self and the very human 3D self, you know. How do I blend my spiritual gifts, my calling, into my mainstream world? How do I make money from it? How do I do it part-time while I still do this job full-time? Whatever the case may be, there are two parts of you. There is an ending to a cycle, because the world, there is a whole new world that's knocking on your door that you are still quite defensive about how to best navigate. I can completely relate to that. Okay, that there's trust in this ending. The worst is truly behind you. When it comes, maybe there was a time when you tried to do that and it didn't quite pan out the way you wanted, Gem. I want to say that trust in this ending, because you have had to emotionally walk away from a dream, an original goal, a financial plan, you know, that has had to end on some level, maybe because of the global circumstances, maybe because of whatever reason. And now is time to blend. Human needs, we need to eat, we need to pay the rent. We also want to be able to connect into spirit. How do I do both? Because I don't want to just be stuck in this energy. I don't want to just do that eat, sleep, repeat pattern and routine and a job that doesn't fulfill me on spiritual levels. But I need to tick these boxes on some level, yeah? This happens in connection, this happens in spiritual practice, this happens in how we live our everyday lives. How do I ascend old paradigms, Gemini? How do I successfully navigate and merge 3D and 5D. Well, this is actually the navigation point. This is 3D and 5D. This is also twin flame energy. That is just my humble opinion. You know, you can, in the traditional tarot, you can say twin flame energy is, you know, the king and the matching kings and queens, the high priestess and the hierophant. You know, her equal in light is, like, her equal is the hierophant, yes? He's the spiritual teacher, she's the spiritual, he's the priest and she's the priestess. But this too is also her equal. She had two suitors. He would be on this side and the priest would be on that side. This is that dark moon Lilith energy. This is that Venetian, the Virgo energy, kind of. Not Virgo energy, but you know what I mean? It's the light version of the feminine essence and the dark version of the feminine essence. She can receive him. It's twin flame energy. And that twin flame alchemy happens internally within us. That's our very human desires, needs, plus our spiritual needs. It doesn't just get reflected in partnership, Gemini. This is really interesting. I find this super interesting. It sparked my interest the minute I started to look, because there is this strong Leo energy here. You know, it's about feeling courageous and courageously taking a leap of faith. If it applies to you, take that however it resonates. This thing, this connection, this choice, this union, okay, this union of self, this union of a partnership of some sort. It's a 10 of cups, you know, it's emotional fulfillment after a time of emotional loss. Getting clear on self-sufficiency, being alone, being single, a leveling up, okay? When the Judgment card appears, the trumpet has sounded. Have you heard the call? The call has been heard by somebody here, and they've listened. The Ace of Swords there is a cutting away of an old world, old way of doing things, old connections, old lifestyles, old ways of relating. The Hermit card is our inner wisdom, following our inner guidance. The Lovers. And everything I said earlier about the romantic connection, the twin flame energy. This is your card, Gemini. You are on a journey. The wheel is turning, okay? So whatever life looked like before, whatever life looks like now, the wheel has turned, okay? There's a chapter closing. The world is inviting you to a new chapter. New connections, new ways of being, new career pathways. The wheel is turning after heartbreak, after masks are all off, okay? I could keep going. 6 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. It's time to accept the new. It's time to welcome a whole new world. And everything that has left, everything you've walked away from, having to walk away from, these endings, it's all part and parcel of the bigger story that ultimately is the script that is your life and your world, yeah? And there's a beautiful story that you have to tell and will be continuing to tell. Sound, this might be a conversation. This might be you having conversations with yourself, with others. Finding healing in music at this time. Okay? Did you hear the call? Someone has heard the call. The Judgment trumpet has sounded. It's a whole new world. Okay, my lovely Gemini, I hope this resonates. Leave a comment if it did. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.